Yeah, that's a percentage that'll do good things for Coach Huey's club. On the flip side, George Washington shooting 54%, so you're going to have to tighten up defensively. I really liked what I saw from Houston offensively about the first 5 minutes of the game. The ball movement was crisp. The shots were good shots. They were open shots. Even when they didn't go in, it was a shot that you could be happy about on the offensive end. Houston did flip a switch that last probably 90 seconds of that last exchange before the media timeout. Very sloppy first 2 turnovers of the game for Houston. A couple of shots that were not open, that were ill-advised shots. You hate to keep harping on it, but Cougars do need to play an almost perfect game if they're going to be there with George Washington in the end. And it's doable, no question about it. But you got to take those fast break opportunities when you get them, and when you don't, you've got to run good half-court offense.
Last win in the last ball game for George Washington was on Monday. They played at Fresno State, a 61-53 victory. So both these teams' last ball games are victories. Palmer to the free throw line. And she gets the free throw. And Jessica checks out. Hawkins comes in.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see Momo getting more minutes. She was by far the best player on the court for Houston Sunday against Louisiana Lafayette, and I'd like to see her north of that 30-minute mark.
15-14, George Washington, 3:33 first quarter. Down on the right side is Cummings. Cummings gets it out. Bautista in the ball game for the first time. Milen Bautista, a freshman. Over to Chandler. Alexis Chandler, also from the Houston area. Ball goes off the glass, and it's up and in by Brianna Cummings. Couple of ball players on George Washington from the greater Houston area. As a shot on the left side by Mariah Mitchell is good. Quick first quarter pace, Rob.
Yeah, no question. Both teams are trying to push the tempo, and we've got a very high-scoring game.
17-16, George Washington. 2:51 first quarter. Bautista on the left angle. Milen Bautista, the pass out on top. Kelly Prange into the ball game. Prange trying to post up, going up with the shot, and a foul is called as Hannah Schleibel goes to the basket, and she is fouled.
I believe that's going to go against Sherayla Brown. Shea was in great position. No, they're going to call it on Hawkins, which, unless that's just a missed input on the stat computer, is the wrong call. That was Brown's foul all the way, but in good position, and you just have to go straight up and not put your hands down.
So it is Schleibe with the free throws, and the first is no good for Hannah Schleibe, a junior. 5'9". 17-16 Colonials with 2:35 in the first quarter. Second free throw, Schleibe hits 1 out of 2. 18-16 George Washington. Cougs with the basketball. Hawkins going to the basket. Hawkins inside, and it's going to be a basket that goes up and in for Brown.
First 2 collegiate points for Shea Brown, and it was on a perfect feed by Sarithia Hawkins.
Brown with good defense, disturbed the shot from Cummings. Cummings gets her own rebound, throws up another shot. It is no good, and then the Cougars can't hold on to the ball. Schleibe for George Washington, over to Bautista on left angle. Bautista right-handed dribble, the pass out on top. Swinging around the right side to Cummings. Cummings to Schleibe. Schleibe trying to find the big girl in the post, Prange, but the Cougars get the ball on a turnover, and George Washington gets it right back.
Yeah, you can't go in transition if you don't have 1-on-4.
And Cummings goes to the basket, left-handed shot, and she is fouled.
You know, it's nice to run. Everybody wants to run. Coach Huey wants the Cougars to run, but he wants them to do it wisely. And that's 3 turnovers now for Houston, and 2 of them directly attributable to the fact that they tried to launch 1-on-4, 2-on-4 fast breaks, and that's not going to do much for you besides giving the ball back.
Hawkins with her second personal foul. That is team foul number 3 for Houston. The first free throw is no good for Alexis Chandler. Chandler, a senior. couple of more substitutions for the Cougars. Hawkins comes out of the ball game. Marche Emerson checks back in, as well as Kiara Graves gets the rebound, throws it up the floor, and can't get the shot to go. Almost point blank. Batista, no-look pass. Batista with a beautiful no-look pass. It's on the floor, and it'll be out of bounds, belonging to the Cougars. She was trying to feed Washington inside, but good defense. Kiara Graves getting back on defense and knocking that ball away.
Yeah, Mariah Mitchell credited with the steal, stepped right in the passing lane, and Kiara helped finish it off.
Going to the basket, Marche Emerson can't get the shot to go. Washington, the rebound for George Washington. Ahead the floor, and the layup is going to be good for Alexis Chandler. Chandler, 4 points in the ball game, and it is now 20-18. Under a minute to play, 55 seconds. First quarter, 2-point lead, George Washington. Emerson outside the three-point line. Out on the left angle now. And Palmer throws up the shot, can't get it to go. George Washington, GW, the rebound. And Chandler going right to the basket. Nobody stepping in the lane, and she lays it up and in for a 4-point lead for the Colonials. See if the Cougars hold for the final shot. Shot clock, game clock, about 3.5 seconds difference. Graves, the pass over to Mitchell, and Mitchell is going to be knocked down.
And if that's the 5th team foul, it will put Mariah Mitchell on the free throw line.
Foul is called against Hannah Schleibe. Schleibe is going to pick up her first personal. That is team foul number 5, and so that is automatic 2 free throws for the Cougars with 17.1 left. Mariah Mitchell, first free throw is going to hit off the side of the iron and miss, no good. One more coming up. Schleibe comes out of the ball game, and coming in for George Washington is Lauren Chase. One more coming up. Couple of dribbles, Mitchell's free throw, both of them no good. Craig the rebound and gives it off to the newly entered Chase. And a foul is called. That's going to be the 4th team foul. Kiara Graves picks up the personal.
It's her second, and Kiara a little upset, but that's the right call. A bit of a hip check there. You got to be smart in this situation, and George Washington's holding for the last shot. You don't need to get out there and pressure Jersey tight. Sit back and kind of force them into a less than desirable shot. Now Kiara's going to have to sit with those 2, and that's going to affect her maybe the rest of the game.
7.5, down to 5, down to 4. Washington can't hold the pass from Chase. It'll be out of bounds, and the Cougars will get the ball with 3 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. 22-18 the deficit. 3 down to 2, down to 1, and the Palmer at the buzzer. Palmer can't get it to go. Palmer throwing up the three-pointer in between the three-point line and half court. And so at the end of 1, George Washington 22, Houston 18. We'll be back for the second quarter. This is the Houston IMG Sports Network.
Cougar basketball is all about fast breaking, tray making, glass shaking intensity. So don't let your poor vision keep you from seeing the action. If the game is going by in a blur, it's time to Cougarize your Cougar eyes at Enjoy Vision, the official LASIK center of University of Houston Athletics. With Enjoy Vision's state-of-the-art all-laser technology and rim-rattling LASIK discounts for UH students, faculty, staff, and alumni, you'll be seeing clearer, cheering louder, and winning bigger. Find out how much you could save at enjoyvision.com/UH. Enjoy Vision. This is where you LASIK.
Hello, Cougar Nation. It's Matt Thomas. As your voice of the Houston Cougars, I see day in and day out what it takes to get ahead of the competition. UPS's team of experts is no different. They offer the tools, advice, and insights to help your small business stay on point. Visit ups.com/startups to find out more. UPS, official logistics company of Houston Athletics.
With the game on the line, you want the ball in the hands of your star player. In Houston, Maintenance Supply Headquarters is the apartment industry's leader for maintenance products and service. MSH always comes through in the clutch to deliver the maintenance and community update results you need. From easy ordering to a fully stocked warehouse with a custom production shop and same-day delivery, MSH will provide you with world-class service you deserve. At Maintenance Supply Headquarters, everything we do is focused on one goal: to serve you. Maintenance Supply Headquarters, where loyalty and service matter. Proud supporters of Houston Cougar basketball.
Gerald Sanchez back with you from the Cedar Park Center as we begin quarter number 2. The Cougars trailing 22-18. This is the Lonestar Showcase, inaugural tournament featuring 8 women's basketball teams, all NCAA Division I, the red bracket and the blue bracket. It's just a round-robin tournament. Next year, they're looking to expand the tournament, making it an actual tournament-style play, and also add 8 men's teams. So it'll be a big deal next year, even bigger than it is now. Cougars ball first to start the quarter. Inside is Blake. Blake throws it away. Turnover. Over on the right side is Lauren Chase. Chase for George Washington, gets it knocked near midcourt, and then she steps out of bounds. Rather, she steps on the line for a backcourt violation. Good defense by Marche Emerson. Emerson with the long arms, just knocking the ball away. So the Cougars will get it back. Jessica Palmer, midcourt inbounds to Alicia Smith. Palmer, Mitchell, Blake, Smith on the floor, and Emerson, and the shot is good. A three-pointer by Jessica Palmer. 22-21. Cougars trailing by a point to George Washington. Jones in the post. Jones turnarounder off the glass. It is no good. Out of bounds. And they're going to still say it is George Washington basketball. Inbounding, Chase, Lauren Chase. Jaquel Jones inside, down low to Washington. The turnarounder is good. Washington with the basket, and she has 6 points in the first half as George Washington extends the lead to 24-21. 8:45 in quarter number 2. Smith. Smith on the dribble, left-handed dribble, pass off to Mariah Mitchell. Mitchell now to Emerson. Emerson the pass to Smith at the top, trying to go through a screen by Jackie Blake, set by Blake. Smith with the scoop shot, she is fouled. Smith is able to work her way inside. A couple of bigs in there for GW, but a foul. This is going to be Smith with the 2 foul shots. Did not see who the foul was called on. A free throw is no good by Smith. I believe it was Jones. And it was. Jones commits the foul. Smith, second free throw. She misses both free throws. Cougars from the free throw line are just 4 of 12. 4 of 11, beg your pardon. On the left angle, Jones inside. Jones gets the offensive rebound and puts it up and in. Jones, 6 points. 26-21, George Washington. 8-minute mark to play. Second quarter, Smith, Alicia Smith, and Jackie Blake out on top. Blake thinking about the 3, going inside. Blake going to the basket, left-handed shot, no good. And it's rebounded by Washington. Washington to Chase. Chase pulls up the jump shot, no good. And rebounded by George Washington, to Lauren Chase. Chase again down the lane, no good. Jones offensive rebound, put it up and in. Ronald Huey is upset. His team allowing offensive rebounds, several of them on a couple of possessions, and George Washington gets the lead up to 7, their biggest lead of the ball game. A 6-0 run, the last minute 22, 28-21. Colonials over the Cougars, 7:36 to play. Timeout. We'll step aside for a quick break along the Houston IMG Sports Network.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's so nimble and fluid, but sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our renowned Ironman Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
UHCougars.com is your home for up-to-the-minute University of Houston sports news. Log on to UHCougars.com and you'll find exclusive stories, updated stats, ticket and schedule information, and much more on the official website of University of Houston Sports. Plus, you can tune into live games and coaches show broadcasts from anywhere in the world. Follow your favorite Cougar team online. Keep up with University of Houston sports news as it happens on UHCougars.com. the official website of University of Houston Sports.
Back in Cedar Park at the Cedar Park Center, Lonestar Showcase, quarter number 2. The Cougars trail by 7, 7:36 to play, 28-21, George Washington.
Yeah, the second quarter for Houston has not been as good as the first. The lead's starting to grow. Houston going to need to put some points on the board quick.
First game that was played here in the tournament, they had an 11:30 start. And that was Wright State versus Iowa. Iowa winning 83-76. The Cougars will play Wright State tomorrow morning at 11:30 in this tournament. Emerson for the Cougars with the basketball over to Smith. Smith to Mitchell. Mitchell over to Emerson, left angle. And Mitchell wasn't looking for the pass from Marche, and it goes out of bounds.
In a lot of ways, Gerald, I think George Washington kind of gambled on an up-tempo game, and the fact that if they kept it up-tempo, that Houston maybe couldn't run that as efficiently for a full 40 minutes as GW could. So far, they're being proven right. Houston did a great job with it in the first 7 minutes, and in the last roughly 6 minutes, the level has not been as high.
Jones can't get the shot to go, but it's rebounded by Washington. Jones fights for it. Palmer gets it over to Smith, and Smith over to Marche Emerson. Alicia Smith back to Palmer. Three-pointer by Mariah Mitchell is too long, no good, and it's rebounded by Cummings. Here's Cummings for George Washington. Cummings, the pass to Chase. Chase, top of the key, Washington, 15-footer. It is no good, and the rebound comes down to Alicia Smith. Smith's got a 2-on-2. Smith passes it to Emerson. Three-pointer in the corner right side. Air ball. Nothing going on. Rebounded by Washington. Gets it to Brown. Brown runs the floor, and Brown is fouled. Trying to get the offensive foul, but they're going to call a blocking foul on Alicia Smith. That's unfortunate. Thought she might have had position. Smith with her first personal. That's team foul number 1 for the Cougars. Oh boy, she was outside that restricted area, but they call it a blocking foul on Alicia. Today's officials, Doug Williams, Marty Cook, and Kristen Jones. Quarter number 2, and the first free throw is good by Brown. George Washington from the free throw line, just 2 of 5. Cougars, on the other hand, 4 of 11. .6:14 to play. The second free throw, nothing but the bottom of the net for Aaliyah Brown. Mitchell for the Cougars to Blake. Blake on the left angle to Amerson. Amerson to Smith. Smith on the dribble. Smith at the free throw line going in the corner. Mitchell for three. Too long, no good, and the rebound comes down to Chase. But Chase steps down the baseline as she was flying in for the rebound and running off. Good eye by Doug Williams, the official. Pardon, that's Marty Cook, the official, that made that call. So Cougars will keep possession. Smith inbounds on the baseline, gets it into Mariah Mitchell on the left angle, gets it over to Smith. Smith with the pass on the dribble, and she will set it up near midcourt. Now she will bounce pass it to Jackie Blake at the elbow on the right side, and Blake from 15 hits the free throw line jump shot. Cougars needed that to stop the bleeding. It had been a 8-0 run, beg your pardon, for George Washington. 30-23, and Amerson with the block of Cummings. Here come the Cougars. Jump shot left side is good. A three-pointer by Alicia Smith. The Cougars have scored the last 5 points, and they've cut the lead down to 4, 30-26.
Two huge buckets right there. Alicia really feeling it. Had her feet square and drained her second three of the game.
Praying at the top. Praying is fouled by Jackie Blake. Blake tried to avoid contact, and it was not going to happen.
Well, the best way, Gerald, to avoid contact is to be in the right position defensively. Jackie gambled a little bit right there, went for the steal, tried to pull back at the last moment, was already kind of out of position, and that's what led to the foul.
Looking to inbound. Cummings in the baseline from Chase. Cummings, the pass into Jones. Jones out on top. Jones with the dribble, being guarded by Gilbert. Jones, jump shot, short, no good. Rebounded by Cummings. Cummings puts it up and in. Another rebound. They are leading in the rebounding department, 24-9. George Washington is.
And 11 of those rebounds are offensive.
32-26 the score. George Washington. And a steal. Marche Amerson had the ball, and Cummings picked her pocket. Here's Chase for George Washington. They run back the other way. Jones in the post. Jones is double teamed. Jones throws it to Marche Amerson. Amerson with the dribble. Marche just kind of surprisingly is like, whoa, here's the ball. Jones. Jaquel Jones just threw it right to her. 3:52, Smith three-pointer, and it rattles in. Alicia Smith is 3 of 3 from three-point range. The Cougars hitting their 5th in 8 attempts. 32-29. Cougars trail George Washington, and again Blake goes in, but it's rejected by Gilbert. What a wonderful defensive play by Gilbert. Shooting the shot short is Mitchell, and they come the other way with Jones handling the basketball. Jones stutter steps, going to the basket, throws the shot up off the glass, and Ty is going to commit the personal foul. Chase went in, and Gilbert erased it. Thought the Cougars were going to get something on the other side, but Jones back the other way, gets the shot. 2 shots, 3 team fouls for Houston, and Cougars trailing by 3, 32-29, 3:12 to play. And Jones taking her first free throw of the afternoon, misses. So she'll get one more. 3 minutes, 12 seconds. Jones so far with 8 points on 4 of 11, 5 rebounds. Second free throw, no good. Misses both free throws, and the Cougars can tie with the three-pointer. Palmer inside, and the layup is up and in. Nice play by Newman. Newman put the basket up and in, and the Cougars trail by a point, 32-31. Timeout, George Washington. 3:04 left to play. And the Cougars, after trailing by 9 points, have hit 4 out of their last 5 field goals. George Washington, meanwhile, has gone cold. 2 of their last 10. And so the Cougars have whittled it just down to a 1-point deficit. And how about the hot shooting of Alicia Smith? Smith, 3 of 3 from three-point range, 4 of 5 overall from the field, has 11 points and a couple of assists to go, and she is leading the Cougars in scoring. And the Cougars have done well shooting the basketball. They have shot it at 48%. So after the timeout, George Washington with the basketball, leading by a point. Bautista throws up the 3. It is no good. Rebounded by Prague, but it is stripped by Gilbert. Good defensive play by Tyler Gilbert, and the Cougars, trailing by a point, can take the lead with the basket. Alicia Smith handling the basketball with 2:43 left in quarter number 2. Smith, right side to Newman. Newman bounce pass to Palmer. Palmer to Mitchell. When in doubt, get it to Smith if she's open. Palmer on the right side. Palmer throws up the footer, and Palmer puts it in. The Cougars have the lead, 33-32. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left.
The offensive ball movement right now for Houston, off the charts. It's by far the best we've seen this year.
They have assisted on 6 of their baskets. Prague, the free throw line or jump shot, they're going to call it a three-pointer, beg your pardon. Three-pointer at the top of the key is good, and the Colonials have a 2-point lead. 35-33. Is that right? 35-33. The scoreboard is off. 35-33, George Washington. Palmer in the corner over to Smith. Smith on the left side. Colonials a 2-point lead. Smith throws up the tier floater in the air. No good. And it is Prague the rebound for George Washington. Bautista across midcourt. Bautista, left angle. Looks. Gets it to Cummings. Back to Bautista. Lynn Bautista, Washington going to the basket and puts it up and in. And now it is George Washington scoring the last 5 points with a 37-33 lead. 1:16 left before halftime. The Cougars don't want to let this, where George Washington goes on a nice run at the end of the quarter.
Yeah, this is a big 68 seconds right here for Houston.
Palmer on the dribble. Palmer on the right side over to Newman. 7 to shoot on the clock. Gilbert turnarounder off the glass, no good on the baseline. Boy, it was going to look good. Washington running the floor, and Washington can't hold on to the ball. Cougars ball. That
was a terrific inbounds pass, entry pass rather, by Sinisia Newman. And a nice job to get back defensively. Newman and Smith both forced that turnover. They're not going to get credit for a steal because they slapped it off of the GW player's leg, but still, Houston has adjusted defensively in that transition defense, which was a problem in the first quarter, early parts of the second. It's gotten much better.
37-33, George Washington. 45 seconds left to play in quarter number 2. Mariah Mitchell down low into Gilbert, Brown into post. Palmer shot, and a 3-second violation is going to be called. I think they were going to call that on Brown.
Yeah, it was on Brown. Nice pass to swing it out to Palmer, but spent a little too much time in the paint.
36 seconds left. Chase running down the floor. They're going to maybe try to get a 2-for-1. Chandler, jump shot, no good. And it is rebounded by the Cougars. And the shot clock is off, and so here we go. See what they do on the final possession of the half. Houston with the basketball, trailing 37-33. 16 seconds. Alicia Smith, right side to Newman. Newman to Smith. Down to 8. Down to 7. Smith holding the ball.
Moving.
Down to 4. Down to 3. Smith going to the basket. Throws up the high arcing shot. No good. Newman trying to get the offensive rebound. Doesn't come down for her. Buzzer sounds, and that is the half. Cougars' first game in the Lonestar Showcase here on Thanksgiving. They have hung tough with number 24, George Washington. Colonials 37, Houston 33. It's the halftime show. Come back with halftime stats and analysis right after this along the Houston IMG Sports Network. 37-33, George Washington.
Free Tab 4 8.0 with new phone, I say. New Samsung Tablet Bro, come claim yours today. Get in store when you buy a Galaxy smartphone on AT&T Next and use a happy, happy tone. Free tablet, new smartphone, both Samsung, hooray! Oh, what fun it is to play with a free tablet today. It's Santa!
Well, hello, dude. Free tablet, new smartphone, both Samsung, you say. Let's head to AT&T, mobilizing your world. Switch to AT&T and get $300 credit with a smartphone trade-in and purchase of any smartphone on AT&T Next, dude.
Free tablet requires 2-year agreement.
Must activate eligible service on both Galaxy devices.
Limited time credit requires port-in, eligible service and trade-in.
$100 bill credit within 90 days.
$200 trade-in credit or promo card.
Fees, charges, and restrictions apply.
Available in select locations. See store for details. Hey!
At TDECU, we pride ourselves in celebrating all those "this time I'll make the Kiss Cam" fans. The way we see it, when all members of a team work in harmony toward a common goal, only one thing is bound to happen: success. At TDECU, you'll find some of the most professional and devoted employees ready to help you achieve just that: financial success and independence. So whether you're just starting out on your financial journey or you're ready to start planning your future, we're here to help. TDECU, your credit union. Be you and belong.
Federally insured by NCAA. Do you ever feel overwhelmed at work with time-consuming projects? Projects that require printing, binding, fulfillment, even mailing? Have you ever considered that doing these types of projects in-house is actually costing your company more money and you more pain? Southwest Precision Printers is a full-service printing company and solutions provider that can help you get rid of your pain. With state-of-the-art equipment, Southwest can turn your projects around quickly and efficiently. For 39 years, we have been the perfect match to our clients. Call 713-777-3333 or visit swpp.com today.
For up-to-date breaking news on the Houston Cougars, there's no better source than UHCougars.com, the official website of University of Houston Athletics. UHCougars.com provides detailed content and results on all University of Houston teams, with innovative photos, live game and coaches show broadcasts, and in-depth interviews about the Houston Cougars. UHCougars.com is your complete online source for sports news when you just have to know. Visit UHCougars.com and make it your start page each time you log on to the internet. Go to the source. Go to UHCougars.com.
One half of action is in the books. Welcome to the Cougar Halftime Show, breaking down all the first half action. Now let's head back live to courtside.
37-33, George Washington over your Houston Cougars at the half from the Lonestar Showcase in Cedar Park, the Cedar Park Center. Gerald Sanchez, along with Rob Walden, welcoming you here to the halftime report as the Cougars shot the ball well. They were shotted at 12 of 27 from the field, 44%. More importantly, what really kept them in it, Rob, 5 of 8 from three-point range, including Alicia Smith's 3 of 3.
Yeah, that's the big number, Gerald. You look at the stat sheet, and there's some stuff that looks out of whack. Cougars got out-rebounded 27-13. They gave up 11 offensive rebounds. Turnovers not great, 7, but that's much, much lower than what it has been for Houston. That and the three-point shooting, that's what's kept the Cougars in the game. Alicia Smith 3 for 3, Jessica Palmer 2 for 2, only the 7 giveaways, and you know, you can get away with some rebounding struggles and some struggles at the free throw line where Houston's 4 for 11 if you're going to hit 5 of 8 from downtown. That's been the key, that and taking care of the ball for the most part, and it was a good half for Coach Huey's team.
This morning at breakfast, everything was talking about number 35 for George Washington. And I think that the Cougars have done a really nice job defensively. Tyler Gilbert's length has bothered her a little bit.
Yeah, Jonquel Jones has 8 points and 5 rebounds, but she's 4 for 11. Houston's done a very nice job. And, you know, we talked about doing work early, getting in there and keeping her from catching the ball in positions where she could turn around and score. That's what Houston's done. They've done a very nice job making sure that she catches the ball outside of the restricted area, outside of the block. Instead of turning, facing up, and laying the ball in, she's got to shoot little 7-8 footers. They're contested, and so the efficiency has dropped. Really, overall, a very nice job defensively by Houston on Jones.
Rob, you mentioned in the first half, especially when the Cougars, after they fell back by about 7 or 8 points, they were moving the basketball to make the comeback and eventually take the lead. That ball movement was very important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been huge. Swinging the ball around, George Washington sunk into his zone for the most part. That's how teams are going to defend Houston until the Cougs can prove that they can hit the outside jumper. That hasn't happened in the first 4 games, and I'm counting the exhibition there. But the way to beat a zone is with ball movement, and Houston's done that. They've zipped it around the perimeter exceptionally well. They've fed the post in key moments. Those post players have got to start converting those a little bit better, but the ball movement has opened up some spots in that zone, and Houston took advantage.
And also, I think that another key component of the first half for the Cougars offensively, being aggressive. They were very aggressive, and they were quickly getting to the offense, and like I said, the ball movement.
Yeah, no doubt. Houston took some shots that they maybe would have passed up, but the key is that they were uncontested shots. Anybody can go out there and be aggressive. Anybody can go shoot in the first 10, 15 seconds of the shot clock. That really takes no skill at all. What does take skill is to find an open shot in the first 10 or 15 seconds of the shot clock, and that's what Houston's done a much better job of in the first 20 minutes today than they did in those first 4 games.
It is halftime here from Cedar Park, and the Cougars trail 4-4 to George Washington, 37-33. Back with more here on the halftime report on the Houston IMG Sports Network.
With the game on the line, you want the ball in the hands of your star player. In Houston, Maintenance Supply Headquarters is the apartment industry's leader for maintenance products and service. MSH always comes through in the clutch to deliver the maintenance and community update results you need. From easy ordering to a fully stocked warehouse with a custom production shop and same-day delivery, MSH will provide you with world-class service you deserve. At Maintenance Supply Headquarters, everything we do is focused on one goal, to serve you. Maintenance Supply Headquarters, where loyalty and service matter. Proud supporters of Houston Cougar basketball.
Miller Lite, the original light beer, has been proud to support the Cougars. But as a great-tasting Pilsner that won't hold you back, we've also been proud to stand with the fans of the Cougars, keeping them up and screaming from their seats wherever they are. Because in-state or out-of-state, near or far, if you're for the Cougars, we're for you. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
Great beer, great responsibility. 2015 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Average analysis of 12 fluid ounces, 96 calories, 3.2 grams of carbs, less than 1 gram protein, 0 grams fat.
If you have joint pain, you know it builds over time. First, you try pain relievers. Then you do a little less. But doing less means staying home more. Avoiding the activities that keep you young, that make you happy. With a Joint Center location near you and care provided by outstanding orthopedic surgeons, it's time you stopped hurting. Visit jointpain.memorialherman.org. Memorial Herman, advancing health.
Follow the Cougars all year long with Cougar Tracks, the official magazine of University of Houston sports. Each action-packed issue contains exclusive articles and photos, plus schedules, stats, and more. Get all the inside scoop on your favorite Cougar sports team by subscribing to Cougar Tracks for only $9.95 per year. Call 1-888-877-4373, extension 1769 to go inside the huddle with Cougar Tracks. That's 1-888-877-4373, extension 1769. Subscribe today.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers of Houston believe in a singular purpose. Dreamers designing buildings deserve a matching workforce to build them. Our purpose is simple. Show the care, love, and respect of an architect's vision. IBEW Local 716 spends millions training electricians to be productive, reliable, and safe. We enjoy what we do, but love why we do it even more. The time is now to hire IBEW electricians.
You're tuned to the Cougar Halftime Show. For more halftime coverage, let's head back live to courtside.
37-33, George Washington at the half of the Lonestar Showcase. This is the inaugural tournament that they are having here over Thanksgiving at the Cedar Park Center. The women's tournament going on today, tomorrow, and Saturday, and these are all the teams that are involved. Creighton, East Carolina, Eastern Washington, George Washington, Cougars, Iowa, and Northwestern State, and Wright State. They have split it up in this tournament to where the red bracket and blue bracket for round-robin play. The red bracket's going to be George Washington, the Cougs, Iowa, and Wright State. Blue bracket is going to consist of Creighton, East Carolina, Eastern Washington, and Northwestern. Next year, the organizers are going to use the tournament in a traditional 8-team women's bracketed event, including a 8-team men's event as well. Earlier today, in the first game, Wright State defeated Iowa defeated Wright State, beg your pardon. So it was the Hawkeyes winning 83-76 over Wright State. Today, it's the Cougars right now playing against George Washington. After this game, it will be the blue bracket, Eastern Washington versus Northwestern, and then tonight, Creighton versus East Carolina. The Cougars' next game after this one will be against Wright State, and that will be tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, and we'll be on the air at 10:45. So you get to have breakfast with us tomorrow when you are finished with all your Black Friday stuff. 37-33, George Washington over the Cougars at the half. And let's look at the halftime statistics as we have them. Leading scorer for George Washington is Kyra Washington. She has 8 points, and Jonquel Jones also with 8 points. 6 points for Alexis Chandler, 5 points Elia Brown, 4 points for Brianna Cummings, 3 points Kelly Prance, and 2 points for Shannon Crenshaw, 1 point for Hannah Schleibe. For the Cougars, they are led in scoring by Alicia Smith, 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 3 from three-point range, 9 points for Jessica Palmer. She's 3 of 4 from the field, and everybody's getting active in the scoring. Then after that, 3 points for Jackie Brown. She got a 2 and 1. Saritha Hawkins, Kiara Graves, Seneca Newman, Mariah Mitchell, and Sherlia Brown with 2 points each. Houston shooting 12 of 27 from the field. That's 44.4%. And George Washington 16 of 36 from the field. That is also 44.4%. Rebounding, I know that is one of the keys that Ronald Huey and I talked about in our pregame meeting. George Washington out rebounding the Cougars 2-1 almost. It's 27-13 in the rebounds, and the Cougars have done a good job of taking care of the basketball. They've turned the ball over only 7 times. George Washington has turned the ball over 9 times. 37-33. We'll come back with the second half in just a moment. This is the Houston IMG Sports Network. George Washington with the lead.
Cougar basketball is all about fast breaking, tray making, glass shaking intensity. So don't let your poor vision keep you from seeing the action. If the game is going by in a blur, it's time to Cougarize your Cougar eyes at Enjoy Vision, the official LASIK center of University of Houston Athletics. With Enjoy Vision's state-of-the-art all-laser technology and rim-rattling LASIK discounts for UH students, faculty, staff, and alumni, you'll be seeing clearer, cheering louder, and winning bigger. Find out how much you could save at enjoyvision.com/UH. Enjoy Vision. This is where you LASIK.
Hello, Cougar Nation. It's Matt Thomas. As your voice of the Houston Cougars, I see day in and day out what it takes to get ahead of the competition. UPS's team of experts is no different. They offer the tools, advice, and insights to help your small business stay on point. Visit ups.com/startups to find out more. UPS, official logistics company of Houston Athletics.
For me, life is all about the perks. That's why when I heard you get $300 credit for every line you switch to AT&T with a smartphone trade-in and purchase of any smartphone for $0 down on AT&T Next, I thought, sign me up. I mean, $300 credit per line? Perk. Getting rid of my phone for a new one? Perk. Being able to post embarrassing photos of my coworkers from the break room? Double perk. Hey! Get all the perks when you switch to the network with the nation's strongest 4G LTE signal. AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Come in now and get the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Active, only at AT&T.
Limited time, each $300 requires a port-in eligible purchase, activation, and trade-in. $100 bill credit within 90 days. $200 trade-in credit or promo card. $0 down requires well-qualified credit and installment agreement. Limited number qualified. Taxes, fees, restrictions apply. Claim based only on national carriers. Average 4G LTE signal strength. See store for details.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's so nimble and fluid, but sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our renowned Ironman Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
Beginning of the third quarter, second half, Gerald Sanchez with Rob Walden on the Houston IMG Sports Network. George Washington by 4, 37-33, and the Colonials get the ball first to begin the second half. Chase on the dribble for the Colonials, and it's knocked away. Good job by Hawkins, and Graves gets the loose ball. Graves to the basket, puts it up and in, and just like that, Cougars trailing just by 2. Washington is fouled as she goes to the basket, though, is running the floor. And that's going to be a foul against Hawkins. Yep.
Yeah, that's a big foul. That's 3 on Momo, and we've still got 19:40 left in the game. She's going to have to check out. Jessica Palmer's going to have to check in. You hate to see it, but all freshmen have to go through stuff like that, Gerald. The game is quicker at this level. It's more athletic. You have to be better positioned defensively, and you don't get away with as much in this level as you do in high school.
Washington getting the free throw.
I think the unfortunate thing about that one, Gerald, is that it was not a necessary foul. Jones was trapped underneath the rim. She threw it off the bottom of the backboard. Washington, not Jones, excuse me, but still, that wasn't going to go in with or without the foul, and so it's unfortunate for Sarithy to burn her third in a situation like that.
Kyra Washington hitting both free throws, and it's 39-35. George Washington. Palmer out on top. Blake, free throw line jumper for Houston, no good. Jaquel Jones getting the loose ball. Washington putting it up quickly, and it is up and in by Brown. Aliyah Brown.
Gerald, I'd like to see Jackie Blake get more involved offensively around the rim. She's already taken 4 shots in this game, so she's been a bigger part of the offense than what we've seen in the last 3 regular season games, but so many of those have been little 10, 12 footers. I'd like to see her post up and provide a real down-low presence for Houston.
Smith throwing up a shot strictly on a one-on-one offensive possession, and teamwork the other way. George Washington getting the layup. Jones puts it up, and a timeout for the Cougars as George Washington has extended their lead 43-35, and they've done it just within the blink of an eye. Cougars with a couple of poor shots. George Washington taking a couple of decent shots inside. Cougars, this is the second straight year they've played during the Thanksgiving break. Last year they were in the Puerto Rico shootout. Played a couple of games down there. They lost both of those games.
I think that's going to start to be an annual thing, not just for the Cougars, but for pretty much all women's college basketball teams. In the last, I'd say probably about 7-8 years ago, we saw an explosion of men's college basketball tournaments centered around the Thanksgiving holiday. You always had Alaska, you always had Maui. Those totally exploded. ESPN, I think, owns and operates most of those now. So they're in Brooklyn, they're in Orlando, they're in LA. And so pretty much every men's college basketball team goes to one of these Thanksgiving tournaments now. Well, the women's game has followed suit, and so you see the Junkanoo Jam in the Bahamas, the Gulf Coast Showcase, which is actually run by the same folks that operate the Lonestar Showcase here in Alston. You've got, like you said, San Juan Shootout that we went to last year. I know Southern Miss does a Thanksgiving tournament. I'm pretty sure that there's several of them out in California. There's a couple tournaments in Las Vegas, one of which Houston thought about going to this year and perhaps could go to in the future. So the days of Houston taking Thanksgiving off and then maybe hosting a game on Friday or Saturday or the David Jones Memorial Tournament, which I know was hosted for several years at Hines Pavilion around the Thanksgiving holiday. Those days are pretty much over at this point, and it's a big recruiting tool to be able to go somewhere for Thanksgiving. You've got Wednesday classes off for the most part. You've got obviously Thursday and Friday classes off, so you can get away for a few days. And I would be stunned to see Houston play any sort of home basketball under Ron Huey at the Thanksgiving break, because it really is about going to a destination now.
Cougars with the basketball after the timeout, and it's turned over, and Jones is going to get another layup. After the steal, they have put some pressure in the backcourt. A press. Smith, the right side to Marche Emerson. Palmer, three-pointer right side. Palmer. Jessica Palmer hitting the three-point shot. And George Washington, after the ball was knocked away by Palmer, gets it back, and it's Gilbert. Gilbert's got those long arms, and she is continuing to put her hand on the ball in passing lanes.
Yeah, but you got to reel those in. Knock that one out of bounds, and it's nice to deny the entry pass, but it's still George Washington ball if you can actually get possession.
Jones blows the layup inside, and Smith gets the rebound. 45-38, George Washington. 7:56 to play. Alicia Smith, being guarded by Chase, gets it over to Palmer. Palmer, left angle, now to Graves. Graves outside the three-point line. Emerson going to the lane. Emerson throws up the shot. He runs into three defenders. Here's Chase. All alone. Chase the layup to 47-38. 9-point lead. Washington, George Washington, Palmer, left angle, Graves. Graves to Palmer. Houston with the basketball. They don't want George Washington to run away and hide. They've done a good job in keeping it within striking distance. And they've even had the lead for several minutes of this ball game. Graves going to the basket. Graves throws up the shot, and Graves is fouled. And this will be a two-shot foul as Kiara Graves is fouled. Kyra Washington picking up the personal foul. 7:07, that's the first team foul on George Washington of the second half in the third quarter. Free throw is going to hit the front iron, and it's no good for Kiara Graves. Those free throws are just so important. One more, and it is good. When you're given opportunity to score free throws, you want to take advantage of it. Cougars 5 of 13 from the free throw line. Crenshaw going to the baseline. Crenshaw kicks it out. Three-pointer left side. Brown, no good. And it'll be chased down by Jones inside of Washington. Washington the layup. Up and in. Kyra Washington. 49-39. A 10-point lead. Biggest lead of the game for George Washington. And the Cougars get it over in the over and back just in enough time. Left side, Graves for three. Graves, no good on the left angle. Out of bounds. And it is Colonials basketball.
Well, the shooting hasn't quite been there for Houston in the third quarter, Gerald, and perhaps most importantly, the defense hasn't quite been there. Jones and Washington have gotten several easy looks, and Houston defended those two, I think, about as well as you possibly could in the first half, and it just hasn't matched that level here in the third quarter.
Another ball movement on the perimeter, and ending up with a basket is Alexis Chandler. Chandler with the easy basket. In the corner, Mariah Mitchell for three. It is no good. Cummings the rebound for George Washington. 51-39, 12-point lead, and now it is a foul. It's going to be called against Mariah Mitchell.
Should be on Jessica Palmer.
Yeah, they put number 24, the official.
Mariah wasn't really even that close to the play.
And the officials at the scorers table are saying, are you sure it's 24? No, it is on Palmer.
Cougs have missed 4 of their last 5 shots, and they really need to stop here.
In the corner, Chase for 3, left side, no good. And Jones so long getting the rebound, no good. Offensive board, and Gilbert just gets a little bit of her wrist, and it is going to be called a 2-shot foul.
Jones is such a weapon, and you know, the most impressive thing about her, I think, Gerald, is her versatility. She's a terrific passer. She can handle the ball on the perimeter. She's not a ball stopper. She can move the offense when it gets to her. That's not the end of the possession. She can move the line along and get somebody else a better shot. I think the most impressive thing that I've seen her do today, though, is be the point man on that 1-2-2 full court trap that George Washington has really utilized effectively. There aren't many teams who can put their number 5, their center, at the front of a press. Usually you hide that player. They guard the goal, and if it gets to them, then the press probably didn't work, and they're probably committing a foul. She can be out there with her length and get in the passing lanes, but she moves her feet effectively enough that she can trap Houston's guards, and that has really made a difference, especially in the third quarter.
Jones gets a free throw, making it 53-39, and the Cougars are forced to call a timeout. Otherwise, they would have been in danger of having a 10-second violation in the backcourt. Things are starting to come undone for the Houston Cougars as they trail 53-39 to the George Washington Colonials. And they have really just put their athletic ability, they have just stamped their athletic ability on the Cougars, as now Houston is having some trouble as they've put some press into the backcourt as well.
Yeah, that press has made a huge difference in the third quarter. This was a 37-33 game, and quick math, George Washington has outscored Houston 16-6 here in the third quarter. So much of it is based on that pressure. Even when it's not forcing turnovers, Houston is moving at a speed where they're not comfortable and taking shots on the offensive end that Coach Huey doesn't want. The three-point percentage has gone down a little bit. Overall, Houston down to 42% shooting, which is not a bad mark, but still that's lower than we saw throughout the entire first half. And George Washington, when they don't get out in transition, they have a nice little half-court set that's leading to a back cut and a wide-open player on either block. It's happening on both the right and the left blocks, and Houston hasn't quite figured out how to defend that yet.
Well, the Cougars, remember, they scored the first 2 points of the quarter, cutting it to a lead of 37-35. And since then, it has just been George Washington with that impressive run. And 4 points for the Cougars only since then. You mentioned they've only scored 6 points in the third quarter. 5:37 left to play. George Washington 53, Houston 39. We are at the Cedar Park Center. The Lonestar Showcase, this arena that they call the Cedar Park Center, seats 8,500. It was built and constructed, finished in 2009. And Rob, guess who the first entertainment act was here in this arena?
I have no idea.
George Strait.
That's quite a way to open a building.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're really probably never going to top it at this point.
They host...
I don't know, maybe if Tom Petty came.
They have the Austin Spurs here, who are part of the NBA Developmental League. That's their home team here, the minor leagues.
I want to say they used to be the Austin Toros.
Yeah, they used to be the Austin Toros.
And then with the push in the D-League to affiliate those teams with NBA teams, they became the Austin Spurs, which just makes total sense. All that brand synergy you can get from being named the Spurs, just like the parent club in San Antonio.
Next time out, I'll talk about their former head coach, whose numbers are retired here in the rafters. 5:29, third quarter. George Washington 53, Houston 39. Cougars with the basketball. Momo Hawkins at the top for 3, no good. The Cougars have just gone ice cold in this third quarter. Cummings at the top. Jaquel Jones inside to Washington. Washington gets it inside, and they continue to use their height.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with Jones. There aren't many bigs who could take 2 dribbles like that and link up with a teammate and put it right on the money for them to lay it up and in.
She is definitely good from the high post. Palmer on the right side. Palmer throws it cross court to Graves. Graves tries to get an up and under, can't get it to go. The length bothered her, and Graves comes from behind and steals the ball from Jones. Graves, Kiera puts it up and in. And that stops the 8-0 run that George Washington has had in the last couple of minutes. 55-41, Colonials over the Cougars. 4:19 to play. Inside to Chase. Chase outside, 15-footer, no good, and it's rebounded by Jessica Palmer. Here come the Cougars. Palmer on the right side. Palmer going to the basket. Palmer throws it off the glass. It's short, no good. And it is a long rebound that Jones gets to Washington. Washington to Cummins, back to Washington, and it is up and in. They run the floor so well. They just get out and run, and they're so long. That is really affecting the Cougars. Jessica Palmer sets up the offense for Houston. 3:41 to play, 57-41. 16-point lead, George Washington. Hawkins at the top, now to Palmer. Palmer for three right side, too long, and it hits the top of the backboard, and it goes out of bounds. Alicia Smith comes in for Jessica Palmer, and wholesale substitutions for the George Washington Colonials. Washington goes out, Jones goes out, Chase goes out. Coming into the ball game is Hannah Schleiby, also Maylin Bautista, and coming in as well, Brianna Cummings. Kelly Praying is also into the ball game for George Washington. Inside, it is going to be taken away. Bad pass by Alexis Chandler. Graves steps out of bounds. Alexis Chandler, we mentioned two players on George Washington from the greater Houston area, Alexis Chandler and Aaliyah Brown. Chandler played at 3 different high schools while she was in Houston and set 2 school records in the assist column. For Cy Ranch, of course that school is not very old, and then St. Pius X, the private school. Shot is no good by Prague. Houston with the basketball after the rebound by Hawkins, and she is fouled by Brianna Cummings. And then she finished up her high school career at Cy Fair High School. Played for Ann Rubik, who also won a state championship, a couple of state championships, and somebody on our bench on that 2008 state champion.
Very true.
Mansa L. Played with the Uwumake sisters. And on top, Graves. Graves going to the basket. Graves is now in the corner. And it's knocked out of bounds by Schleiby, and that is a foul. Schleiby picks up the personal, or second. That is team foul number 3 for George Washington, 57-41. Smith going down the baseline. Smith throws up the shot. It is no good. Loose on the floor. Graves puts it up and in. Kiera Graves for the Cougars makes it a 57-43 game. 14-point lead. Prague in the post, and a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Houston Cougars. Ronald Huey standing on the sideline in front of the Cougars bench in the pink shirt and gray tie, clapping his hands, encouraging his young women to make that push. Alicia Smith for Houston, left side. Kiera Graves to Hawkins, back to Smith on the right side. Moving that basketball around, continue to move that ball around. That was make them so successful in the first half. Mitchell fighting in traffic, and she is fouled as 3 girls go down to the floor. Mitchell, Schleiby, and Bautista all going down to the floor. Substitution as Cummings comes out of the ball game, and Shannon Cranshaw comes in. Cranshaw was a starter. Now her first action of the second half. Mariah Mitchell coming out of the ball game. Jackie Blake is in for the Cougars. Alicia Smith passes it over to Graves on the left side. Graves going on the left baseline. Graves, top of the key to Alicia Smith. Smith, left-handed dribble in the lane. It is taken away. Washington with the steal for George Washington to the lane, and she is fouled. I think that was Marche Emerson, or Jackie Blake. Marche Emerson picks up the personal. Emerson with the foul. That is her first personal. And team foul number 4. So to the line again is Washington. High arcing rainbow from the free throw line. It is good. One more. That free throw makes it 8 of 13 for George Washington from the free throw line. And Washington, Cairo Washington, is 3 of 3. Make it 4 of 4. Minute 37, third quarter. 59-43. George Washington. Colonials with the lead. Alicia Smith being guarded by Batista closely. Smith in the lane, now throws it out to her Hawkins, who's coming your way, Rob.
I was ready, and I was going to defend you too, Gerald, if it took that.
Our Sprite and Dr. Pepper would have taken a spill.
Yeah, I don't know if my suit was ready.
The shot is no good by Smith. It is pulled down by Washington. Left side is Batista. Batista, the pass at the top to Prague, inside down low to Washington, the post, kicks it out, left side Batista, into Prague, free throw line jumper, no good, tipped up by Washington, turnarounder off the glass, up and in. Offensive rebound after offensive rebound. That's got to be tiresome for the Cougars defensively. They get a stop and then they give it right back. 61-43. Graves, George Washington with the lead. 33 seconds. 12 on the shot clock. Alicia Smith. Alicia, right side. Alicia throws up the shot off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Hawkins. Hawkins gets tangled up with Schleibe, and a foul is going to be called.
Not having Sarethia Hawkins for really large stretches of this game has been a big burden for the Cougars. She got into foul trouble if you're just joining us. Picked up 2 quick ones about 3 minutes into the first quarter. Picked up her 3rd foul less than a minute into the 3rd quarter. So her court time has been severely limited today because of that foul trouble. I don't think the foul trouble is much of an issue anymore when you're down 17 as the first free throw is good. You got to play whoever your best players are, and if they foul out, they foul out. But no doubt that offensively Houston has struggled a little bit without, in my opinion, their most dynamic scorer on the court for much of the afternoon.
Hawkins making both of her free throws. 18 seconds remain, and the score is 61-45. George Washington over the Cougars. Jones to Cranshaw. Cranshaw right side of Washington outside of the three-point line, being guarded by Hawkins. Cranshaw going to the lane. Cranshaw throws up the shot off the glass. It is no good. 3 seconds down to 2. Blake gets it picked, and Jones can't get it off in enough time because Cranshaw couldn't get it to her in enough time. But that is the end of the 3rd quarter, and in the 3rd quarter, it was all George Washington doubling up on Houston, 24-12 in the 3rd quarter, and it is now 61-45. Colonials over the Cougars. We go to the 4th here on the Houston IMG Sports Network.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed at work with time-consuming projects? Projects that require printing, binding, fulfillment, even mailing? Have you ever considered that doing these types of projects in-house is actually costing your company more money and you more pain? Southwest Precision Printers is a full-service printing company and solutions provider that can help you get rid of your pain. With state-of-the-art equipment, Southwest can turn your projects around quickly and efficiently. For 39 years, we have been the perfect match to our clients. Call 713-777-3333 or visit swpp.com today.
At TDECU, we pride ourselves in celebrating all I Go Home Horse After Every Game fans. We believe our members are part of our team. Just like any successful team, when everyone works together, winning is bound to happen. At TDECU, you'll find some of the most caring collaborators ready to work by your side toward a common goal, your financial independence. So whether you're just starting out on your financial journey or you're ready to start planning your future, we're here to help. TDECU, your credit union. Be you and belong.
Federally insured by NCAA.
Gerald Harold Sanchez back with Rob Walden from Cedar Park, the Cedar Park Center, Lone Star Showcase, and the Cougars trail 61-45 to the George Washington Colonials. Rob mentioning that this is the home of the Austin Spurs, the minor league team of the San Antonio Spurs, which is just down I-35 here. And they have the championship banner, which they won the NBA Developmental League back in 2012. They also have a retired jersey number for their former head coach, the late Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson was the coach for the Austin Toros back in 2007 when he suffered a heart attack in the downtown area and passed away. And Dennis Johnson was one of my all-time favorite players as a kid growing up. DJ has played for the Boston Celtics, 1983 all the way to 1990, won a couple of championship rings for the Celtics. And Larry Bird said that Dennis Johnson was the best player, best teammate that he ever had.
And that's saying something considering some of the other players that Larry Bird played with in Boston. Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale obviously come to mind, Cedric Maxwell as well. But for Dennis Johnson to get that honor from Larry Bird says a lot.
Inside as George Washington has the basketball to begin the fourth quarter. And the foul is called, and that is going to be, they're going to call that against Brown. You know, the officials, some kind of confusion. They hold up double numbers, and Brown, I thought they held up number 22, but it was 32 that they held up. So, Skylar Brown, of course, we are facing against the scorer's table, and there is really no scoreboard to tell us who the foul is on immediately. Have to look at our stat monitor. Second free throw is good for Jaquel Jones. She has been outstanding in the second half. She was somewhat quiet in the first half by her standards, but Jones now with 16 points and 4 of 6 from the free throw line, 6 of 16 from the field. Cougars now the first time that they've had the ball in the fourth quarter, 63-45. Houston. 9:34 to play. Left side is Graves. Graves with the pass. And Marche Emerson in the lane. It is no good. Tipped up. And it is pulled down by Hawkins. Jones just kind of shoved Hawkins out of the way, trying to get her defensive spot. Jaquel Jones. Here's Emerson to left side. Emerson to the basket. Emerson too hard. And it's Jaquel Jones getting the rebound. Jaquel to Chase. Chase, right side. Crenshaw, back to Chase, baseline. 5-footer, right side is good. The offensive ball movement for George Washington has really done an outstanding job in the second half. 65-45, biggest lead now of the game for the Colonials, 20 points. Marche Emerson over to Smith. Smith at the free throw line. Smith backing it up, down low inside, and it is Brown with the post-up play on the right side. She puts it up and in.
That's 2 buckets now for Shea Brown, and that's huge. Didn't score in Houston's first 3 games.
Emerson with the steal of Jones. Emerson puts it up, can't get it to go, gets her offensive rebound and loses the ball to Chase. Jaquel Jones was coming from behind Marche, and it might have affected her shot, and Jones is fouled on the pass-off. Team foul number 2 for Houston. Marche, Emerson, and Graves come out. Did not see who that last foul was on for Houston. Jump shot left side by Brown. It is no good. Hawkins gets it to Mariah Mitchell. Mitchell on the right baseline. Mitchell throws up the scoop shot and can't get it to go. She was open, she just couldn't get it to go. Nice pass from Chase to Brown. Brown can't put the lay in, and she is fouled, and Brown and Jones go tumbling down, and Brown does a good job extending the courtesy of helping Jones up the floor. Jones fouled, and this will be 2 shots. One more or rather 2 free throws coming up for Jaquel Jones. And the free throw is good. George Washington will play Iowa tomorrow.
It's going to be a heck of a game.
Both teams ranked. Second free throw is good.
And it's a fun stylistic matchup, Gerald, because I'm not sure Iowa's got anybody that matches up with Washington and Jones, but on the flip side, I haven't seen anybody on GW's side that can hang with Iowa's guards.
Chase at the top. Chase on the dribble. Chase looking, bounce pass in. Layup is 2 for Washington. Chase to Brown to Washington, and she put it up and in. Washington now with 22 points. She's the leading scorer. 9 of 11 from the field for George Washington. 69-47 Colonials over the Cougars. 7:13 to play. Cougars with the basketball. Smith out top. Newman. Stutter steps. Newman. Nowhere to go. Newman in trouble. Newman looking. Newman throws up the shot, and it will not go. Shot clock was winding down. Washington to Brown. Aaliyah Brown to Chase. Chase to Jones. Jones the layup. 2 more. 71-47 George Washington. And remember, it was 37-33 at the half, 37-35 at the beginning of the third quarter when the Cougars scored the first 2. Hawkins can't handle the ball after the pass, but it was knocked out of bounds. Looked like that was knocked out of bounds by DeLacy Anderson, the senior, who's into the game. Washington out of the game. And Jones out of the game. Chandler and Kelly Prang back in for George Washington. I think that might be it for Washington and Brown.
Yeah, 3 games in 3 days. I would not be surprised at all if those two did not come back into today's game.
Washington and Jones, beg your pardon. Jones with 20 points. And a shot clock violation. Palmer.
Well, Palmer came into the game and didn't look at the game situation. You know, when you step out on the court, you have to know what the situation is. She came into the game with 5 on the shot clock and didn't realize that. Thought she had a fresh 30 and just kind of stood there as the clock ran out.
Prang over on the left angle. Right side now to Chase. Chase down to Chandler. Chandler down into Prang. Turnarounder jumper, no good. Here comes Hawkins for the rebound for the Cougars. Carrying the basketball. That's a turnover. Marethia Hawkins turning the basketball over. You see Hawkins, there's a lot of really raw talent that a lot of work and some discipline can go a long way in her career here in Houston.
Yeah, no question about it. She's going to be a terrific player. I think she's got the highest ceiling, the highest upside of any of these new players on the Houston roster. She's going to be an all-conference level talent, and we've seen glimpses of that at Charleston, at Louisiana Lafayette, but all freshmen go through a period where they've got to be more consistent, and today's one of those rough days for her.
The pass is thrown away. Chase over to Emerson. Emerson gives it to Ty Gilbert. And Tyler gives it off to Jessica Palmer. Palmer, left-handed dribble. Palmer throws up the shot as she was going to the basket, and she's fouled by Aaliyah Brown. Aaliyah Brown, also from the Houston area, played her high school ball for Pam Crawford and the Clear Springs Chargers.
And you are a Houston basketball encyclopedia over there, Gerald.
Here is Palmer, and the free throw is good. I see a lot of the high school level.
Sure.
So Palmer one more. There's also a tie-in with George Washington, the university, and Dennis Johnson, and I'll tell that story here in just a moment as well. Free throw 1 out of 2 for Palmer. 71-48 the score. Washington, George Washington, and Craig, the three-pointer at the top of the key. 5 minutes to play in this game, and it's going to look like George Washington get a leg up on this tournament, along with Iowa, who won earlier today in the red bracket. The three-point shot by Jessica Palmer is going to be no good.
She was fouled, I believe.
But she was fouled. And this will be 3 free throws. .450 left to play in the ball game, and it is all George Washington in the second half. 74-48 Colonials. Timeout, 4:50, fourth quarter.
Miller Lite, the original light beer, has been proud to support the Cougars. But as a great tasting Pilsner that won't hold you back, we've also been proud to stand with the fans of the Cougars, keeping them up and screaming from their seats wherever they are. Because in-state or out-of-state, near or far, if you're for the Cougars, we're for you. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
Great beer, great responsibility. 2015 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Average analysis of 12 fluid ounces, 96 calories, 3.2 grams of carbs, less than 1 gram protein, 0 grams fat.
At TDECU, we pride ourselves in celebrating all those "this time I'll make the kiss cam" fans. The way we see it, when all members of a team work in harmony toward a common goal, only one thing is bound to happen: success. At TDECU, you'll find some of the most professional and devoted employees ready to help you achieve just that: financial success and independence. So whether you're just starting out on your financial journey or you're ready to start planning your future, we're here to help. TDECU, your credit union. Be you and belong.
Federally insured by NCAA.
Colonials 74, Cougars 48, with 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the game from the Lonestar Showcase inaugural tournament here in Cedar Park, Texas. Gerald Sanchez along with Rob Walden. I mentioned earlier that there's a tie-in with Dennis Johnson, who has his number hanging here in the rafters at the Cedar Park Center. Retired former coach of the Austin Spurs. Actually, back then it was the Austin Toros. George Washington, the university, looking at their famous alums, one of the most famous alums was Red Auerbach, who was the general manager and president of the Boston Celtics when Dennis Johnson played for the Celtics back in the 80s. So it also other famous alum, Jackie Kennedy Onassis and Colin Powell, from were George Washington famous alums.
Yeah, I would say that having your campus in Washington, D.C. probably have quite a few people coming through.
Palmer was fouled before the timeout on a three-point play, and she's hit her first 2 free throws. One more coming up.
First double-digit scoring effort of the year for Jessica, who I believe is now up to 15 points.
There's a steal by Smith, and Alicia puts it up and in. Smith, the Cougars have scored the last 5 points, making it 74-53. There's Batista, throws it cross court, down the lane, and a bad pass by Alexis Chandler.
This is an opportunity, Gerald, even though the final result is really not in doubt anymore. Still an opportunity for Houston to do some good things. Jessica Palmer with 16 points. She's knocking on the door of a career high. Alicia Smith's had a good game. Marcia Emerson hasn't scored yet, so you've got an opportunity to maybe get her rolling for the future.
Blake into Hawkins, and Hawkins is fouled, and she'll get the and one as she makes the basket underneath.
And for that matter, Jackie Blake with 3 points. And, you know, I got a feeling when Jackie takes off, she's going to be a huge part of what this team does offensively. It hasn't happened yet, though. And so with 4:16 to go in the fourth quarter of this one, you've got the opportunity to get her some touches, get her in a rhythm to where she is a major part of what Houston's doing going forward, not just in this tournament, but for the rest of the year.
Jada Matthews with the personal foul, and the and one is completed by the Cougars, and then they steal the ball again. Here's Smith for 3, no good. It is rebounded by Hawkins over to Palmer. The more and more I see Sarithia Hawkins play, the more and more I like her. Three-pointer by Blake is going to be out of bounds.
Yeah, she's a big part of what this team does already. And when she has played really well against Charleston and against Louisiana, I think that's been the best that we've seen the Cougars play this year.
Going up the left side is Alexis Chandler. Over to Bautista. Back to Chandler. Chandler out on top to Brown.
Sometimes it takes a little time, though, for a freshman to just kind of figure out their place in the lineup, and you're almost a little shy.
Well,
there's a lot of seniors on this team.
Bautista, the shot off the glass, it is no good. Bautista gets the rebound out to Prague. Jump shot left side, no good, and Emerson gets the rebound. And then Emerson throws it away to Chandler. Back to Brown, back to Chandler. Chandler hop, skip, and a jump in the lane, gets it to go.
And that's one of those passes, Gerald, where you're trying to break out in transition and there's nothing there. Slow it down, get a nice shot, but instead you give it up. And now George Washington has a real transition opportunity and they score.
Chandler 10 points, 5 of 7 from the field. Cougars trail 76-56. Palmer, right side, Smith. Smith for three. Smith too long, no good. And Aaliyah Brown gets the rebound. Over to Bautista. Bautista, the pass into Prague, no look, good shot. Bautista's got some really good passing skills as a backup point guard. Houston trailing 78-56. Hawkins to the basket and she's fouled and she'll go to the line to shoot 2 shots with 2:33 left to play.
You know, a good opportunity for me to finish that point. You know, with Sarethia Hawkins, I think it's pretty clear she's got the highest ceiling on the team right now, and maybe even without that polish is already the team's most dynamic scorer. But when you've got a team that's got 5 seniors on the roster, all of them started a ton last year. You got the junior college transfers and Blake and Grave that are playing a big part. Sometimes, you know, a lot of freshmen lack that assertiveness to really take the reins and be the top player on the team. And as she gets more comfortable, I'm excited to see Sarethia do that, because I really do think by the time this season is over, she's going to be the top gun offensively for Coach Huey's team.
Timeout as we will step aside. George Washington leading with 2:33 left, 78-56, and that previous foul was called on Prang, Kelly Prang. This is Houston IMG Sports Network. George Washington in control.
At TDECU, we pride ourselves in celebrating all I Go Home Horse After Every Game fans. We believe our members are part of our team. Just like any successful team, when everyone works together, winning is bound to happen. At TDECU, you'll find some of the most caring collaborators ready to work by your side toward a common goal, your financial independence. So whether you're just starting out on your financial journey or you're ready to start planning your future, we're here to help. TDECU, your credit union. Be you and belong.
Federally insured by NCAA.
For up-to-date breaking news on the Houston Cougars, there's no better source than UHCougars.com, the official website of University of Houston Athletics. UHCougars.com provides detailed content and results on all University of Houston teams, with innovative photos, live game and coaches show broadcasts, and in-depth interviews about the Houston Cougars. UHCougars.com is your complete online source for sports news when you just have to know. Visit UHCougars.com and make it your start page each time you log on to the internet. Go to the source. Go to UHCougars.com.
2 minutes, 33 seconds, fourth quarter. George Washington 78, Houston 56. And Rob, I want to take this moment to pass along our wishes to the Lewis family.
Absolutely.
The passing of Guy V today. Coach Guy V. Lewis passing away today. And if you haven't heard the news, passed away earlier, 93 years old. Guy V, a legend. You don't need to really say much about what he has meant to not only the university, but to the city of Houston.
Yeah, no question. He's a Hall of Fame coach, and to talk to anybody who knew him well, he was a Hall of Fame person as well. And so our condolences definitely go out to his friends and family, his loved ones, and also the entire Cougar basketball family.
So one free throw is made, and then a steal by Hawkins, but she can't get the layup to go, and then a foul in the backcourt. One thing I like about this, the Cougars are playing very hard here, with obviously the game going to be in George Washington's favor with 2:26, but they continue to fight.
No question. You like to see that, and it's important because you're going to be here for 2 more days. You can't let this loss get you down. You've got to stay positive, stay high, because Wright State's a good team tomorrow, and Iowa's an even better team on Saturday.
Bautista for 3 left side. It is no good, and it is coming down to Newman. Newman now to Jessica Palmer. Palmer over to Smith. Smith back out to Palmer for 3, and it is good.
It's 19 for Jessica, just one off a career high.
78-60, and this ball is tipped, and it'll come down to Newman. Houston with the basketball. Over to Smith. Back out Palmer, feeling it for 3 right side, and she gets it to go again.
And there it is, career high. 22 now.
And she is 5 of 6 from downtown. Excellent. Blocking foul underneath as Matthews goes crashing, and Mariah Mitchell takes the brunt of it.
Jessica led the Cougars in scoring last year, right around 10 points a game. Offensively has really struggled to get it going so far this season, only averaging about 5 points per game. She's going to get back up to that healthy average and then some with her performance today. But, you want to see that be consistent. There's no question Jessica's got the tools to be a 14, 15 points a game player. And that's something that this entire Cougar team needs, as the first free throw is no good, is consistent offensive efforts and go-to players that they can really count on game in and game out. And hopefully this performance today sparks Jessica to that kind of season.
Jada Matthews hitting 1 of 2. The foul was on Mariah Mitchell, her second, and the team foul, number 5 for Houston. And going in for that basket. Smith getting the basket in the lane. Alicia with 15 points, 5 of 16 from the field, and missing her only 3-point attempt in this second half, 3 of 4 overall. Ball is stolen away as Bautista tried to get it up, and Smith will lay it in. Smith, 4 in a row. Kelsey Mahoney is into the game for George Washington. She passes it over to Mia Farmer. Farmer, left-handed shot by Tampus is no good. Jessica Palmer the rebound for the Cougars. Palmer with 42 seconds left. Mariah Mitchell for 3 left side. Mitchell hits the 3-pointer. They're making the score look respectable as Matthews goes to the basket and fouled as Palmer fouls her. Jessica with her second personal, team foul number 5, sets 2 free throws anyway because it was on the shot. Cougars trail 79-70 with 34.1 seconds remaining. Jada Matthews will shoot 2 shots. Don't have enough time to, as the free throw is good by Matthews. Don't have enough time to talk about it, but there are so many Guy V. Lewis stories that I could talk about. We'd be on the air for a really long time, but again, our thoughts and prayers and condolences to the Lewis family. Left side over to Mitchell. Mitchell, another 3-pointer is good, and you know what? It's 80-73, 26.7 seconds, and a timeout is called. Timeout is called by Jonathan Sippes, the head coach of George Washington. Jonathan Sippes was voted the A10 Coach of the Year last year in 2015. They set a mark for wins and winning percentage of 29-4 last year. They got to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2008. So Sippes has done a really nice job since taking over for the program. He's been at several schools, including Notre Dame. Sippes has worked under 3 national championship coaches, Rob. Muffet McGraw of Notre Dame, Mike Krzyzewski at Duke and Lemoyne's Dave Paulson, who's now in George Mason.
Yeah, you're going to learn a lot working under 3 great coaches like that. Learn how to win, and that's so important. A lot of people know how to coach. They don't know how to win, and he's coached under winners.
26.7. And a foul. One final thought, the foul on Houston. And this is Batista. One final thought on Guy V. I'm glad that he was still living when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He waited a really long time, longer than it should have been. But he was inducted several years back, and that was really nice.
Yeah, no question. He deserved it, and it's a good thing he was there to see it.
Batista missing her first free throw. One more, and she misses both of them, but it's tipped out with 24 seconds, and Farmer is fouled by Alicia Smith. If the Cougars could have gotten that rebound, raced down the floor, and maybe hit another three-pointer.
Yeah, you never know.
When I saw Tracy McGrady score 13 points in 35 seconds. Anything is possible.
Right.
He was against the San Antonio Spurs, the Rockets, 2004. A Farmer into the line. Mia Farmer, a sophomore, 5'8". No good on the free throw. George Washington missing a slew of free throws here down the stretch. They are 15 of 25 overall. 80-73 with 22.8 remaining. Farmer's second free throw is no good, and the Cougars will get the rebound. Mitchell, they're going to let it fly. Palmer looking, no, Palmer's going to go inside to Newman, and Newman gets the lay-in. Ronald Huey says timeout. 80-75 with 11.5 remaining. The score is a lot closer than anybody would have thought. And of course, Washington and Jones have been sitting for the most of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, about the last 7 minutes or so.
Right.
But still, 80-75, that's a respectable score, and it's good to see Houston continue to battle hard.
Right. Because, you know, somewhere down the road, they're battling hard and believing in each other. That's going to come up, and it'll pay fruition for them in January or February, maybe even March.
Hopefully, yeah. This is a team that has, sorry, Gerald, it's a team that has postseason aspirations, and certainly capable of doing that if they can play like they have in the last 4 minutes of this game. Houston, Gerald, has scored, again, quick math here, 27 points in the last 4 minutes. 4 minutes and change.
19
Cougars, yeah, Cougars were at 48 points with 4:50 left in the game. Now here we are with about 12 seconds left, and they're up to 75. That's 27 points for a team that hadn't scored more than 23 in a quarter coming into this game and had several quarters in single digits. To score 27 points in 4 minutes and 38 seconds, that's an explosion, and they've hit their last 7 field goals.
Yeah, and they are on a 19-2 run over the last 2:22. 7 of 7 from the field, including a couple of three-pointers. So, boy, they could put on maybe a minute or two more back on that clock. What a coulda, shoulda, huh?
Sure, absolutely. And you know, you look back at some of those turnovers that the Cougars made. You know, in the last, especially in the third quarter, there was a lull midway through the third quarter where a 2-point deficit went to 16 in a hurry. It was because of some careless defense and a lot of turnovers. If you can take a couple of those back, you never know where you might be.
The Cougars maybe in this ball game, Rob, if you look at it, down to 5 seconds. Oh, a steal by Palmer, and Palmer gets it blocked. It goes out of bounds with 5.4, but Palmer stole the ball and got it blocked at the rim because Jones and Washington are back in the ball game.
Yeah, and that's it's an awkward situation. They've been
they shut it down
for about 15 minutes of real time and about 6.5 minutes of game time. Jones and Washington had shut it down, and so now I think we're going to the monitor to see who has the basketball. Jones blocked it out of bounds. I don't know if it hit Palmer on the way out. And then also, while they're looking at the monitor, they might put some more time back on it.
80-75. Right now on the clock, there is 5.4 remaining. Cougars' next game is against Wright State. We will be on the air at 10:45 tomorrow here along the Houston IMG Sports Network, 11 o'clock tip-off. And then on Saturday, the Cougars and the Hawkeyes will do battle at 11 o'clock in the morning. And again, another 10:45 pregame. This is part of the red bracket of the Lonestar Showcase. The red bracket, and then the blue bracket later today, Eastern Washington versus Northwestern, Creighton versus East Carolina. The Cougars at the half trailed 37-33. They scored the first 2 points of the third quarter, and then it was all George Washington. So if you take out that 5-minute stretch in which they really struggled, Rob, the Cougars have played outstanding basketball against the number 24 team in the nation.
You know, we talked at the top of the show, and we reinforced that point throughout the first half when things were going well for Houston, that it was going to take an almost flawless effort, and it was going to take not 32 minutes of good basketball, but 40 good minutes of basketball for Houston to spring the upset. I'm not giving up on this one yet. And we'll see who's got the ball. The officials are still over there, so I'm not sure who's going to have possession with 5.5 seconds left. But there is no question that we didn't get 40 good minutes of basketball. We got about 32. And boy, if those 8 minutes, could have been a little stronger, there's no telling where we might be. Now the other side of that coin, Gerald, Jones and Washington and the rest of the GW starters sat for about 7 minutes. Personally, if I was Jonathan Sippis, I would have gone back to that crew. I would have taken him out when I did, and then if I had taken him out when I did, I would have gone back to him sooner than what he did. But at the same time, hey, Houston can't worry about strategic mistakes on the other bench. You just got to keep playing, and that's what the Cougars did. They took advantage of George Washington's second and third teamers, and then when George Washington refused to put those first teamers back in the game, Houston said, we don't care. We're going to keep playing. We're going to put our best lineup out there, and we're going to keep scoring buckets. And so now we've got ourselves in a position I don't think anybody thought we were going to be in at the 5-minute mark of the third quarter, but especially the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Nobody expected to be right here. But, Coach Huey talks about a mentality where you go as hard as possible at all times. That's what his team did. George Washington took their foot off the pedal, and so now we're in a position where still the circumstances aren't great, and boy, we really need to see who's going to get the ball out of this exchange, but it's not quite over.
Yeah, Jessica Palmer hitting those three-pointers, really igniting the offense. Then a couple of turnovers. George Washington, before you know it, Cougars are right back into the ball game. The score is 80-75. The officials are still looking at the replay.
In my opinion, Gerald, I didn't see what the initial call was, but if you have to look at it for this long, whatever the initial call was should stand. The point of replay is to take an obviously incorrect call and fix it. Video, as much as technology has improved in the last 10, 15, 20 years, video's still not perfect. You don't get a perfect angle of every play. And I think if you have to look at it for going on 4 or 5 minutes at this point, like we're doing, whatever the initial call was, and they didn't make a signal, so they can kind of play with this as they want to, but whatever that initial call was, and I think it should be Houston ball, that call should stand. But we've played pretty much the entirety of this Right Here, Right Now song, and we still don't have an answer. And so if it's going to take that long, we have fixed the clock. It's up to 5.4. It was at 5.2 seconds. But if you got to look at it for 7 or 8 seconds, then I don't think there's any question that it should be Houston ball. Now, I think part of what they're looking at is whether George Washington was out of bounds before Palmer even stole the ball and got it blocked out of bounds. I'm looking at the video up here on the big screen. Now, I don't think they were, which means Palmer's steal should count and the layup should count, and 5.4 seconds I think is perfectly acceptable. But this is a big call, and this is not where we thought we were going to be. Not at all, but Houston continued to battle. George Washington thought that they could look ahead to Iowa tomorrow, and boy, they were wrong.
Rob, I'm looking at that replay.
Yeah.
And we thought initially that perhaps the ball might have been off of Palmer or a George Washington defender. Maybe it was Jones that got a hand in there underneath the basket, but they kept replaying. I don't know why they were looking at it, but they kept replaying to see if Lauren Chase was out of bounds when she passed the ball. According to that replay, it's very clear she was not out of bounds.
No, not at all. And that's not even the highest def video board in the world, and you can still tell she wasn't out of bounds. So I don't know. I don't know what we're doing.
I don't know why they keep looking, and why is this so long? I'm sure that we will have our answer here very soon. It has been almost 5 minutes that they have looked at this one play. $80-75, George Washington. Happy Thanksgiving to those that are listening to the ball game today.
I'm not sure this is the song I would be playing right now, personally. I Will Wait by Mumford & Sons. Kind of a jab at the officials, who are taking a very, very long time to figure out. And, look, we're not on that side of the table. You could have some equipment malfunctions. Lord knows I've kicked a copier or two in my day when it was stalling in these kind of do-or-die situations. But there's no question that barring an equipment malfunction, I think it's pretty clearly Houston ball, and I think 5.4 seconds is very fair as far as time left in the game. Let's game plan here if you're Houston, because you can only go over this situation so much before you repeat yourself. If it is Houston ball, you have to catch and shoot immediately. Whatever you're doing over there in the huddle, whatever Coach Huey's drawing up, it needs to be an immediate catch and shoot. It doesn't have to be a three, but it does need to be an immediate fire and release. It has to go in. You can't have any missed buckets at this point if you're Houston. It has to go in. And then assuming it does go in, you have to try to steal the inbound. And again, if you do steal it, it has to be an immediate catch and release. I don't think you have a lot of time to dribble or pass yourselves into an ideal shot. You do have to be cognizant of the score in that situation. If you can fire off a three and get it right here, you're down two, you can take whatever shot you want. If you took a two on the last exchange, obviously you're going to have to kick out for a very quick three-pointer. If it's George Washington ball, you have to steal the inbounds pass. That's the only real option that the Cougars have, and the only way that they're really going to get into the game and cut this down and have a realistic chance of getting to an extra period or even winning is if you steal the inbounds pass. That's if it's George Washington ball. But we still have no idea. No idea. And at this point, we've been waiting 5-6 minutes to try and figure out whose ball it is.
Rob, I know there's only 5.4 seconds left, and the Cougars do not have a timeout. But if you're Houston, you got to feel that this delay that has gone on almost 6 minutes now, 7 minutes, that you would think that it's got to hurt you a little bit, because you were really moving in the ball. You were in that groove of a comeback, or at least a possibility. As just now you're just sitting out there cold.
And coaches in this situation like to try and keep their players locked into the game and focused, but you do kind of, from a practical standpoint, reach a point where you can't really do that anymore. That's not really realistic. Now we're going to call the coaches over, and again, really an unacceptable delay, I think. But
Jonathan Sippis,
somebody's about to be really happy, and somebody's about to be really perturbed that it took 7 minutes to reach whatever result it is that we have right
Jonathan Sippis of George Washington and Ronald Huey of Houston meeting at center court with the two officials. The officials that give this
George
to
Washington
George Washington ball. Doug Williams and Marty Cook were doing all the looking. Kirsten Jones was just holding the ball underneath the basket the entire time. She had no say whatsoever. All right, so it will be George Washington ball with 5.4 left. Cougars probably will foul. A long pass down to Brown, and Brown will dribble it
You
out.
have to foul immediately. Sinicia Newman let her catch the ball and then let her dribble away. You've got to know the time and place, and when you're down 5 points with 5 seconds left, the game is not over. You have to foul immediately. That was a mental error right there that cost Houston probably about 3 seconds.
Well, it will be Aliyah Brown. Aliyah Brown hitting the first free throw from Clear Springs High School in League City. One more, and it's good. 82-75. And what do you know? Jessica Palmer hit a three-pointer at the buzzer near midcourt to make it 82-78. The final score. The Cougars never gave up. They kept fighting against the number 24 team in the nation, George Washington Colonials, and the Cougars fall here today by a score of 82-78. Very entertaining game. And that's a good ball club over there in the George Washington Colonials. Come back to wrap it up with our post game here in just a moment. This is Houston IMG Sports Network. Final score, George Washington 82, Houston 78.
Free Tab 4 8.0 with new phone, I say. New Samsung Tablet Bro, come claim yours today. Get in store when you buy a Galaxy smartphone on AT&T Next and use a happy, happy tone. Free tablet, new smartphone, both Samsung, hooray! Oh, what fun it is to play with a free tablet today. It's Santa!
Well, hello, dude. Free tablet, new smartphone, both Samsung you say. Let's head to AT&T, mobilizing your world. Switch to AT&T and get $300 credit with a smartphone trade-in and purchase of any smartphone on AT&T Next, dude.
Free tablet requires 2-year agreement.
Must activate eligible service on both Galaxy devices.
Limited time credit requires port-in, eligible service and trade-in.
$100 bill credit within 90 days.
$200 trade-in credit or promo card.
Fees, charges, and restrictions apply.
Available in select locations. See store for details. Hey!
Do you ever feel overwhelmed at work with time-consuming projects? Projects that require printing, binding, fulfillment, even mailing? Have you ever considered that doing these types of projects in-house is actually costing your company more money and you more pain? Southwest Precision Printers is a full-service printing company and solutions provider that can help you get rid of your pain. With state-of-the-art equipment, Southwest can turn your projects around quickly and efficiently. For 39 years, we have been the perfect match to our clients. Call 713-777-3333 or visit swpp.com today.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's so nimble and fluid, but sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our renowned Ironman Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
Hello, Cougar Nation. It's Matt Thomas. As your voice of the Houston Cougars, I see day in and day out what it takes to get ahead of the competition. UPS's team of experts is no different. They offer the tools, advice, and insights to help your small business stay on point. Visit ups.com/startups to find out more. UPS, official logistics company of Houston Athletics.
For me, life is all about the perks. That's why when I heard you get $300 credit for every line you switch to AT&T with a smartphone trade-in and purchase of any smartphone for $0 down on AT&T Next, I thought, sign me up. I mean, $300 credit per line? Perk. Getting rid of my phone for a new one? Perk. Being able to post embarrassing photos of my coworkers from the break room? Double perk. Hey! Get all the perks when you switch to the network with the nation's strongest 4G LTE signal. AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Come in now and get the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Active, only at AT&T.
Limited time, each $300 requires a port-in eligible purchase, activation, and trade-in. $100 bill credit within 90 days. $200 trade-in credit or promo card. Zero down requires well-qualified credit and installment agreement. Limited number qualified. Taxes, fees, restrictions apply. Claim based only on national carriers. Average 4G LTE signal strength. See store for details.
It's time to break down tonight's game. Welcome to the Cougar Postgame Show on the Houston IMG Sports Network. Now, let's head back live to courtside.
Final score, George Washington 82, Houston 78. Gerald Sanchez welcoming you to the Cougar Postgame Show along the Houston IMG Sports Network. It was just a little bit too late for the Cougars to make that final push as they outscored George Washington 33-21, but they come up short by 4 points, 82-78. George Washington improves to 5-1 on the season. The Cougars drop to 1-4. Looking at the final score and the stats as we have them, Jessica Palmer had a very strong second half, especially from three-point distance, and closed with a three-pointer at the buzzer, finishing 7 of 11 from the field, 6 of 7 from three-point range. She also made 5 of 8 from her free throw line, and she scored 25 points. 17 points for Alicia Smith. And then after that, a drop-off in the scoring for the Cougars. Kara Graves had 9 points, 8 points apiece for Sarathia Hawkins and Mariah Mitchell, 4 points apiece for Seneca Newman and Shai Brown, and 3 points for Jackie Blake. The Cougars shot the ball 43% from the field from three-point range. They were 11 of 20. That's outstanding. From the free throw line, 13 of 23. George Washington led scoring by Kyra Washington. She had 22 points, 9 of 11 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. 20 points for Jaquel Jones, 7 of 18 from the field, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. And she also got 13 rebounds. Kyra Washington had 12 rebounds. After the two 20-point scores, 10 points for Alexis Chandler, and then 9 points for Aliyah Brown, the Houston native, League City native, 8 points for Kelly Prang, and then 4 points for Brianna Cummings, 2 points for Jada Matthews.